Environmental and human security issues are vital national security threats in many countries on the African continent. Reports have shown that the continent is projected to suffer the greatest near-term effects of climate change and global warming than any region in the world, and thus requires urgent attention. To this end, stakeholders in the Global Monitoring for Environment and Security in Africa, in collaboration with the National Space Research and Development Agency, flagged off their second regional workshop this Monday in Abuja, the Nigerian capital. Our correspondent was there and now brings us details.
The African continent is endowed with massive human, natural, aquatic and marine resources with potential for economic growth. But despite these enormous potentials, the continent continues to grapple with environmental and human security issues which have taken a toll on its growth and development. In recent years, issues like climate change, environmental degradation, loss of biodiversity, overuse or overexploitation of non-renewable environmental resources, deforestation and many other factors have directly or indirectly caused, aided and abetted or prolonged conflicts in Africa. Violent conflicts arising from environmental concerns are many on the African continent, which range from farmer-herders conflicts, inter-communal conflicts and international conflicts, and are often based on issues of access to scarce environmental resources. As a result, the political space has become congested with environmental security issues, which invariably bear tremendous influence on national development. In a bid to address these numerous challenges, stakeholders from 40 countries in Africa and across the globe have converged for the second regional exchange workshop for West Africa on global monitoring for environment and security to deliberate and map out strategies for the sustainable implementation of environmental policies at continental, regional and national levels.
At any time you are moving, you need to sit down and assess yourselves. Now we brought most of the West African countries together so that we know what are the gaps and what are the interests of the various countries so that we can fill that. It will have so much impact because we are doing needs assessment. We are looking at areas where there are gaps so that we fill them. We are also looking at the resources within the West Africa. We also want to know where we need to build human capital. And until you are able to fill this, Africa will not feel the impacts of what the Earth observation is doing within the African continent. Right now, Earth observation is doing so much in the area of security, but because it is not open to the public, I think people are not aware. Now also, it is only with Earth observation that you share data, you also know what is happening and then how it's spreading. You can also monitor pattern so that you identify the best method to stop what is happening. So this meeting will also look into the areas of security.
Speaking earlier, other stakeholders at the event, including Dr. Tidiane Kwaitara, the Africa Coordinator, Global Monitoring for Environment and Security, stressed on the need for robust policy making and strategic collaborations to address the lingering environmental challenges facing the continent.
We recognize the critical role of policymakers and stakeholders' engagement in driving impactful change. It is through collaboration, knowledge exchange, and cross-fertilization of ideas that we can collectively tackle complex environmental issues. We encourage active participation and partnership from all stakeholders present here today and beyond as we strive to build a sustainable and resilient Africa.
When we talk about flooding in Abuja or flooding in Abidjan or Dakar, it's the same rationale behind those flooding. The way we occupy land, the way we urbanize ourselves, the way we manage water in our cities is almost the same. So it does not make a lot of sense for each country to be standing alone and trying to resolve a problem which is protracted to different other countries. The second reason why we are trying to build a consortium is the fact that the brain power is distributed in different countries. The capacity you have in Nigeria connected to Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire and others will give us the powerful stamina to derive the type of policy-relevant information that can go into planning and to policy decisions.
The Global Monitoring for Environment and Security in Africa is a joint initiative of the African Union Commission and the European Union geared towards addressing the growing needs of African countries to access and use Earth observation data for the implementation of sustainable development policies on the continent.